This is Rabbi Drew. Welcome back to another Pirkei Avot text explication. We are now in the fourth chapter, on the seventh text in the fourth chapter, and this is structured, as we will see, in kind of a two-line fashion. We've been seeing these in this chapter, which is interesting because the first chapter was largely made up of tripartite statements, or three components, and we've also seen sort of sprinkled throughout four structured statements. This is another, as we've seen recently, another two-parter. So here we go. This is by Rabbi Yishmael, the son of Rabbi Yossi. Now, Rabbi Yossi, we heard from in the previous text, and now so we get his son in this one, Rabbi Yishmael. He says, "Hachosech atzmo min hadin," one who refrains oneself from judgment, porek mimenu eva v'gazel ushvuat shav, rids oneself, or sort of removes oneself from enmity, robbery, and false swearing. So, interesting, enmity. So, I guess if you take yourself out of judgment situations, so formal adjudication, judging, so people, I guess, will hate you less, or will have less negative feelings against you, perhaps, for rendering judgments. Gazel, I'm not really sure why thievery or stealing is mentioned here, perhaps because people perceive you taking money away from them in the case of a court case. And the final is shvuat shav, of false swearing. So who knows? I almost wonder, maybe these things are really on the other end, right? I mean, it could be that the judge themselves is somehow implicated in these things, but it might also be that the people who are involved in the court case themselves, and somehow you're not, somehow not contaminated from those things. So interesting. All right, and here's the second part. Vahagasli bo bahora'ah. So one who it's interesting. One whose heart is presumptuous. Okay, I mean that's a lovely way of putting it, but simply that you get a big head about yourself. That you get a big head about yourself with guidance, or sort of legal guidance. Shote rasha v'gas ruach. They are a fool. They're like an idiot. They are wicked, and they are also haughty or arrogant. So, by the way, these are extremes, right? So it's not simply, you take part in being a judge or an adjudication, then somehow you're implicated in these things. But if you don't, you get off scotch-free. I don't think it works exactly like that. I think the first person, one who sort of adjourns oneself, as it were, from being involved in adjudication, they're certainly fit for it, but I guess you can keep your hands cleaner, as it were, which is nice, but we don't live in a perfect world, I think, is sort of my criticism here of that. And the second one is sort of the opposite. One who perhaps is not really fit for doing this. Now, it's interesting also, I will point out, that they're not exactly the same. The first one was with din, and the second one was with hora'ah. Din is like a formal court case, like is judgment. Hora'ah is more of formal, like, guidance, of halachic guidance. So here of guidance with regards to Jewish law or other Torah-related matters. And so here it's one who sort of inflates oneself, as it were. One inflates oneself, and they're now doing something that perhaps they're not meant, or they're not fit for. They're insufficiently fit for, but they've elevated themselves, and now they're a shota, they're a fool, they're an idiot, because they're sort of operating beyond their intellectual capacity, or certainly what their pre-existing wisdom. The second one is a rasha. You're wicked. I suspect the reason wicked is being mentioned here by Rabbi Yishmael, son of Rabbi Yossi, is because you're going to, either for yourself or perhaps more likely for others, cause them to do things that they shouldn't be doing. And so that's the opposite. So rasha is sort of the opposite of a tzaddik. A tzaddik is someone who is righteous and they do what's proper. Here, a rasha is someone who is doing the exact opposite. Perhaps there's a perversion of justice, or more likely advising people to do things that they should not be doing vis-a-vis Torah and Jewish law. And the third one here is v'gas ruach. Okay, the first two are already pretty bad enough. What is gas ruach? Okay, they're arrogant. as it comes here, it almost seems as if this is the least of the concerns. They're arrogant. Well, I imagine it also is interesting because this second statement really, or the second part of the statement really sort of begins and ends the same way. It has this word gas, right? V'hagas libo, gas ruach. That you've inflated yourself, right? You've inflated what you think your mental capacity are, and ultimately you're going to have an inflation of spirit. Yeah, I think anybody who arrogates themselves will come off as arrogant. In addition, of course, as he says, wicked and idiotic. So interesting as far as Rabbi Yishmael, son of Rabbi Yossi's opinions here with regards to both adjudication and with guidance. So that's what I've got for now, and thank you so much for watching.